How to spot a monitoring spirit. Number 3. Manipulation through familiar spirits. They use what they know about you. Familiar spirits are not random demons. They are monitoring spirits with memory. Spirits that gather, store, and weaponize information about a person, a family line, or a behavioral pattern. They operate through history, emotion, and repetition. They do not need new strategies. They recycle the ones that have worked for generations. What makes a spirit familiar? A familiar spirit is a demon that becomes familiar with your family history, emotional wounds, and behavioral patterns. Your weaknesses and triggers, your spiritual inconsistencies. They are called familiar because they attach, observe, learn, adapt, manipulate. They are not powerful, they are informed. Biblical foundation, Acts 16:16. The girl with the python spirit had insight into people. This spirit mimicked revelation by using observed information. Leviticus 19:31, God warns Israel to avoid familiar spirits because they attach and influence. Key insight. Familiar spirits are data-driven demons. How familiar spirits collect information. They gather information through patterns, repeated behaviors, emotions, especially unhealed wounds, environments, places tied to past sin, relationships, people who trigger old cycles, generational history, family sins, traumas, and covenants. They cannot read your mind, but they can read your reactions, your habits, and your emotional cycles, your spiritual inconsistencies. Spiritual principle. Whatever is unhealed, unconfessed, or unsubmitted becomes data. How familiar spirits manipulate emotion. Familiar spirits specialize in emotional precision. They know what discourages you, what tempts you, what triggers you, what makes you isolate, what makes you compromise. This is why some temptations feel too specific, too perfectly timed, too familiar. Signs. Emotional triggers that feel surgically precise. Sudden memories of past sin. Old desires resurfacing without warning. Random emotional heaviness tied to old wounds. Biblical parallel. The python spirit in Acts 16 mimicked prophecy by using emotional and behavioral cues, generational cycles, and familiar spirits. Familiar spirits often operate through bloodlines. They study patterns of addiction, patterns of divorce, patterns of poverty, patterns of anger, patterns of lust, patterns of fear, patterns of spiritual inconsistency. They attempt to repeat in you what they succeeded in doing to your parents or grandparents. Biblical foundation, Exodus 25. Visiting the iniquity of the fathers. Not punishment, pattern repetition. Signs, cycles that repeat across generations. Struggles that feel inherited. Temptations that appear genetically familiar. Key insight. A familiar spirit's goal is to continue a family pattern, not start a new one. The strategy, manipulation through memory. Familiar spirits weaponize your past, your pain, your patterns, your memories, your weaknesses. They use what they know against you. Examples: bringing old relationships back during spiritual growth, triggering old addictions during emotional vulnerability, reopening old wounds during moments of transition, using familiar voices, people, to speak discouragement. Spiritual insight. They do not need new traps. They recycle the ones that worked before. How to break the influence of familiar spirits. Familiar spirits lose power when patterns are broken, wounds are healed, cycles are exposed, confession is made, obedience becomes consistent. Biblical counter-strategy, James 4:7, submit to God, resist the devil, and he will flee. 2 Corinthians 10:45, cast down imaginations and patterns. Romans 12:2, renew your mind to break predictable behavior. Key insight. Familiar spirits monitor patterns, then weaponize them, but a renewed mind becomes unpredictable and therefore unmanipulable. Type deliverance in the comment section and see you tomorrow for part 4.